Tonight, we pay tribute to the best-selling band in history, the leaders of the British invasion, the Fab Four, John, Paul, George, and Ringo. Let's break the Beatles. This amazing group currently holds the record to the most Billboard #1 hits on the Hot 100 chart with 20 songs. With so much great music to choose from, our first song tonight is actually a medley of 3 songs. This is a magical mystery tour. A Hard Day's Night, and I saw her standing there.
You've been listening to the Massillon Tigers Swing Band on the Malone University Halftime Show. We'll take a timeout. When we come back, we'll send it upstairs to Mark Miller and Rick Warstell as they'll take a look at the stats and analysis of the first half of this one. We'll be back right after this.
At this time,
For nearly 20 years, thousands of people have relied on SARTA for safe, affordable, reliable transportation.
People like Misty Williams, who's riding SARTA to a brighter future. Misty's a full-time student and mom who uses our fixed routes to get to school, pick up her son at daycare, and return home at the end of a very busy day.
School, shopping, Cleveland, Akron, the airport, for work or for play. People you know count on SARTA to meet their transportation needs. And we deliver.
SARTA, where can we take you today?
To me, Malone is family. Come home. We're waiting for you. You're going to love it here. Promise.
The Roadman and JT team up for a lively take on sports. It's a whole new attitude. Afternoons from 3 till 7. Weekdays on News Talk 1480 WHBC and online at WHBC.com.
Welcome back to Paul Brown Stadium at Massillon, and there's the halftime score on the Old Carolina Barbecue scoreboard. Massillon 21, Austintown Fitch 7. Mark Miller. Excuse me.
Rick Warstell.
Rick Warstell, yeah. And Rick, I'm trying to remember what to do next, but it's stats.
It's stats time.
Yeah,
So
Bob Jeffries has given us some good stats, so go ahead and go through those.
Well, let's start with Austintown Fitch. They had 57 yards rushing in the first half. They had 108 passing. They had 7 first downs for a total 165 total yards. They did that with 30 plays. Their average yards per play was 5.5 yards. They had 0 turnovers. They had 3 penalties for 19 yards, and they controlled the time of possession 15 minutes, 38 seconds. For the Massillon Tigers, they had 49 rushing yards. Passing yards, 175, 9 first downs. 224 total yards. They had 20 total plays. Average yards per play was 11.2. They had 0 turnovers. Penalty bugs biting them a little bit again. They had 4 for 45, and time of possession was 8 minutes and 22 seconds.
All right, and now to the highlights, and this is the Malone halftime show. The first one is an 18-yard touchdown pass from Longwell to Morgan. That got the Tigers on the scoreboard. They threw it up to the big guy, and he brought it down in the end zone. Massillon 7, Fitch 0. Then Longwell's at it again, this time a little deeper, 58 yards to Ballard. And with the kick, that put Massillon up 14-0. But Fitch was able to get in the end zone and cut into that lead a little bit. This was a 3-yard run by the quarterback, Montalbano, on 4th and goal. And then a 66-yard strike from Longwell to Ballard. The extra point was good. That put Massillon up 21-7, and that's the way the halftime ended. So yeah, Rick, it was a passing fancy half for the Massillon Tigers. Fitch, big play, got in the end zone once, but you just kind of feel that the Tigers are on the verge of starting to put this away, and they're getting the ball to start the second half.
And I can tell you they're probably a little frustrated, as I said at the top. You know, they averaged close to 30 points of their 47 point per game average in the first half. So they're not happy with 21. Some individual stats for the Tigers. Aiden Longwell's 6 for 10 for 175 yards and 3 TDs. So I know he's happy. Jameer Thomas, they haven't gotten him off yet. He's got 8 rushes for 27 yards, so Fitch's done a good job containing him. The receivers, Ballard and Morgan. Ballard's got 135 yards and 2 touchdowns. Morgan's got a TD with 27 yards. Here we go.
Here's the kickoff. It's to the up back, and he'll try to get around the coverage on the right side, and pretty good coverage just outside the 30. The other guy of our crew that I forgot to mention earlier, Frank Salona, is on the sideline. And this is the AltCare TV Game of the Week. Austintown comes in at 4-1. Massillon is 5-0. And I guess if there is an advantage of deferring the winning toss, it's that they got the ball now. So
you got it.
They come out of the locker room with the football. Ryan Longwell at quarterback number 5. Boy, did he have a first
nice
half.
cut there.
Jameer Thomas coming out of the locker room running with a purpose. A big gainer out close to midfield for Jameer Thomas.
Well, what do you think the message was at halftime there offensively? We're going to get the
blocking. Let's get the run game cranked up.
We're going to get the ball to the big guy. Great cut there. Geez, 90 degrees. Kept his speed and balance. He's running hard.
Yeah, he's tough
I think
to bring
Mr.
down.
Thomas got a little chip on his shoulder here about that first half.
Well, you know, he didn't carry the ball very many times in the first half.
8 carries.
He's used to carrying it a lot more than that.
Absolutely.
So I would imagine he's going to get some opportunities here in the second half, as Coach Nate Moore would like to keep that clock moving and protect that lead. You know, I think the fans get wrapped up in running clocks, and they've had one for their 5 games and big winning margins. Coaches don't get wrapped up in that too much. They get wrapped up in wins and losses.
These Tiger fans are used to getting dinner reservations.
That's right.
They're not used to being here till 10:30.
So 2nd and 10. They're going to throw it this time, the quick out. And that's the fellow that had a great first half. Number 9, Jaden Ballard.
Good timing route. Good zip on the ball.
So they'll bring up 3rd and short here. Looks like it's going to be maybe less than a yard.
Great catch.
Gets it out there in a hurry, doesn't he?
Yeah. He does. Ballard's aggressive. I mean, these guys are yards after the catch. I mean, they don't just catch the football. They think they're going to the house every time they touch it.
That's a good way to be if you're a wide receiver. The big guys are in. It's a quarterback sneak, and the penalty flag went. Maybe somebody was not set when the ball was snapped. It is illegal motion. I know they flipped a receiver from side to side, and maybe he had not been set for a full count, but that's going to take away 3rd and 1 and make it 3rd and 6.
Number 16, 5 yards. Replay the down. 3rd down.
And an injury. One of the Austintown Fitch players was down, so a timeout on the field, and we'll take another look here. Well, yeah, I guess Jameer was starting to walk up towards the line of scrimmage, just trying to protect and maybe even push his quarterback forward. And if that had been Canada, it would have been totally
I thought
legal.
we were watching the Alouettes here for a minute.
And you thought it was just a sports show? It's so much more. The Kenny and JT show every afternoon from 3 to 7 on 1480 WHBC. They talk sports and just about everything else. Afternoons have never been better on 1480 WHBC. And I've even heard you, Rick Worstel, on that Kenny and JT show upon occasion.
That's my man,
it's
JT.
a lot of fun, yeah.
My receiver in high school.
All right. So now it is 3rd and 6. And I don't think we're going to see a quarterback sneak now. And the whistles blow, and it's a timeout Fitch. Boy, they love those timeouts, don't they?
I think they bought a bunch more at halftime, so we're going to see some timeouts.
We got a SARTA sideline report with Frank Salona.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I heard you guys talking at the end of the half about Adric Ford. I talked with the medical staff here after halftime. They did send him to the hospital for some x-rays. He was holding his collarbone like we thought. Nothing confirmed yet, but he is done for the night for sure. But we'll follow up if we hear anything later. And Rick, I got a quick question for you. JT, good receiver or not? I don't know. He says he's a good receiver, but I don't believe him.
Yeah, well, we'll talk privately sometime, Frank.
Thank you, Frank. Good job down there. And our thoughts go out with Adric Ford and his family and the team. His team members, I'm sure, are concerned about their fallen comrade. And we just hope it's not serious, that he can get back out here and finish out his senior year with this Tiger football team that is so special.
Good luck to him.
All right, so after the timeout, Massillon back up on the line of scrimmage now. Looks like they may have the same play because they ran Jameer out into the slot. Coming off the backside, unblocked. They blitzed from the weak side, and Longwell's blind side being a left-handed quarterback, and the sack occurs, and now a punt will take place.
Not what the Tigers wanted out of the locker room at halftime.
You can see him coming off the weak side and nobody there to block. They had taken Jameer Thomas, who sometimes picks up that guy, and put him in the slot to run a route. So a good defensive call by Fitch. Well worth the timeout, I guess.
Absolutely. And again, penalties hurt the Tigers. They had the first down, if you remember, 4th down.
Yes, they did.
Took it back, and
penalty.
Now they're punting.
Penalty killed it.
Yep.
The punt is away.
Oh.
And he will catch it and fall right on the 30-yard line. And that's where the Fitch Falcons will take over. Well, the facilities here at Massillon, we talked a little bit about them. This Paul Brown Tiger Stadium, capacity 16,884. Built originally in 1939. Doesn't look anything like that stadium in 1939, but right across the way is the Paul David Athletic Center, put up in 2008. And the weight room is the Steve Studer weight room. And that's my old center from Bowling Green. And I played with both Studers. I took snaps from Steve for 2 years and Joe for 2 years. But Steve, of course, we lost him a while back. This is a 1972 Massillon grad. He was a great guy. Yep. So here's Fitch. And a big tackle for loss by the Tigers. I think number 3, Preston Hodges, is at the bottom of the pile. Take another look at it here, Rick.
Set the edge. Great job.
Hodges has done that a couple of different times. He has the knack of fighting off blockers and then making the tackle, and it is Hodges. It's down on a knee, and he is trying to loosen up a shoulder. So when he fought off that block and dipped inside and made that hit, he may have hurt his shoulder. And the injury bug's starting to hit Massillon.
Key players.
Yeah.
These DBs play like linebackers.
They do.
I mean, they come up and get after it.
Hey, it's the weekend, and 1480 WHBC has the best Saturday morning afternoon lineup around. It all gets started at 8 a.m. with The Week That Was with Joe Palmisano. Joe always has great topics and discussion. Then it's a sports time machine. Local faces, local places with J. David Ress. And the time machine, the Stark County story. Turn your radio on and leave it. Have a great weekend, everyone. Well, we've got some business to do here before you get away from us for the weekend. Let's go down to Frank, the SARTA sideline report.
All right, guys, thank you so much. I want to name some teams. The Massillon Tigers, Canton McKinley, Niles, Steubenville. Let's throw in Alliance and Warren Harding. If you remember, guys, these were the teams from the All-American Conference, the original 6. 1963 to 79, these guys all played in the same conference. Pretty good football conference. Massillon won it 11 times.
It's a great conference.
I do. That's the conference I grew up with. And I just know this. At Canton South, I didn't want to play against any of those 6 teams. That was
I had them
football,
all.
man.
Yeah.
Woo! Here's the play-action pass and that slant that we saw earlier in the game, and it'll get them back to the original line of scrimmage and maybe a little bit over. And now Jameer Thomas comes out as he doubles up sometimes as a linebacker. So a completion, but not much for yardage.
That little run pass option. He goes with a little bubble pass there, and
that
good execution.
That receiver, Corey Vernon, he's listed at 5'6". He's gone inside and caught a few, so he must be a tough little guy too. So 3rd and 9.
We got Cavalier in a quarterback, so they're giving Montalban a rest.
And he's going to throw. And he can throw it a long way. And almost a running in stride catch. That'd have been a great catch if it was. By Massillon's number 8, Tyree Broyles. We've seen him catch them on offense, and he almost caught one on defense. I think maybe they gave us the wrong information. This kid throws it better than the other kid, and that kid runs it better than this kid.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So good coverage that time by Massillon. They forced the incompletion, and now a punt. Morgan goes back. He stands at his 35-yard line to receive this punt. And that punt is up high and short. Morgan will catch it on the hop. The coverage is there, but he prevented the ball from rolling any further. So they'll take over at the 36, and we'll take a break. Our score, 21-7, Massillon over Fitch.
Welcome to our newly renovated downtown office of Friends and Family Credit Union.
Hello, I'm Nick Langenfeld, President and CEO of Friends and Family Credit Union. Friends and Family Credit Union provides loans, savings, checking, and other financial services to anyone who lives, works, worships, or attends school in Stark County. We provide financial needs in the most reasonable and cost-effective way. Stop in one of our 3 full-service locations today and become a friend of the family.
With AltCare, you have more than just a health plan. You have a team of people whose purpose is to be your advocate. During all stages of life, AltCare will be there to ensure you receive the best health care. AltCare's dedicated staff puts your needs first, making sure you and your family receive quality health care services. AltCare, where you matter. Learn more at altcare.com.
We are back, and Massillon's up on the line of scrimmage. Their first down after that punt. Longwell back to pass. Good protection this time, but a holding penalty was dropped. He tries to throw the ball to Morgan, and a little too high for the tall guy, out of bounds into the Austintown bench. And we'll see if Massillon doesn't have to walk backwards as a penalty hurts them again.
Yeah, it's been the bugaboo all season for them.
They just can't get anything going right now.
They can't.
And
that's what penalties do to you.
Really throw you out of your rhythm. Makes you constantly try to work from behind, because now it's going to be 1st and 20-ish. Looks like it was thrown in the backfield, so it might even be 22. So even though it's first down, they've got a long way to go. You almost got to get 2 first downs before you get a new set of downs.
Yeah.
Number 12 running onto the field for Austintown, and the only reason I bring that up is he is listed at 5'5", 147. So don't tell me I'm not big enough to play high school football. He's playing it, and playing at a high level. Longwell's going to throw it. Wants the out. Off the fingertips of Morgan. He and Morgan have just missed 2 or 3 times on completions.
Looked like a good ball from here, just a little out of his reach.
So it's going to be 2nd down and 22 now. 8:17 in the 3rd quarter. Paul Brown Stadium, the historic Paul Brown Stadium.
Massillon doesn't want to let them hang around. I mean, they're just letting them hang around here, and before you know it, they get a turnover or something.
Right.
They're right.
A big play makes it a one-score game, and now you're fighting for your life.
Yep.
They're trying to get down and make it a 3-score game. The jailbreak screen is well defensed this time, and the tackle is made for just about a yard or two.
Penalty.
And then the flag goes because I think we had a little bit of taunting, or whatever they're going to call it, taunting, but it was really kind of showboating. We'll see if that's the penalty. If so, that would be a bad one for Fitch. They did mark it with a 2-yard gain, and now the call.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Progress. Number 19. 15 yards. The dead ball slide. Actually, be half the distance. Dead ball slide. Be 3rd down.
Okay, you heard the call, and it was not what I saw. It was a penalty against Massillon, and that will take them even deeper into their own territory. And now it's getting dangerous because they're going to have to punt it out of their own end, and it ends up being 2nd down, and I can't count that high, Rick.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, the Tigers, you know, that you mentioned they have high aspirations this year. You get deep in the playoffs, you just cannot play this way. They've got all the tools to do it, but you have to play disciplined football.
So let's see what Massillon does now. It's still 2nd down. Or is it 3rd? That was a dead ball foul, so the down does count. It's 3rd down. Got to be careful down here, huh, Rick?
For sure. You don't have this play in your playbook.
And that's the risk you run.
Yeah.
They were well covered down the field. They wanted to go for big money and see if one of their athletes could make a play, and instead they're sacked, and they'll be punting it out of their own end zone.
Brought the pressure outside. Rush more than they can block. Great defensive call. And again, Massillon shot themselves in the foot.
You've got to credit Austintown Fitch's defensive coordinator, because he's dialed up some blitzes that have gotten home at big times.
He has made some great calls. I agree. Very timely.
Yes, yes. So now punting out of their own end zone with not the normal distance to get a punt off.
Watch it block here. Make sure you get it off. All right.
They had a few coming, but he did get it off, and they will try to return it. Coverage by Massillon is good, and maybe a yard or two return, but good field position for Austintown as they'll take over inside of the Massillon 40-yard line.
Boy, they're just flat on the sidelines now, and
yeah, they've taken the crowd out of it.
They
There
really
was a
have.
buzz and the fireworks and all that going off, and now the Massillon fans are just sitting there waiting for something good to happen. Maybe the defense can make a
will
play.
make something happen, get a turnover. And
lift the offense up.
No turnovers. A lot of penalties.
A lot of
no
penalties.
turnovers.
Yeah. A lot of timeouts.
Yeah.
All right, now Fitch with the ball. Massillon would love a 3 or 4 and out. The quick out is incomplete. And that is Bobby Cavalier. Just trying to get some yardage on 1st down, and just a misconnection. And Rick, is that a product of working with a couple of different quarterbacks during the week?
It is, absolutely. I believe that 100%. Plus, they only had one guy out in the route.
Throwing it down the middle. He got it in there, but that was dangerous, and the receiver paid the price.
Robbie Page, it looked like he had it in his hands.
But the two
close to
Massillon
pick.
safeties were ready to lower the boom on him.
He had it.
He did.
Yeah, 20 had it.
So 2 incompletions in a row make it 3rd and long. And the Fitch fans are probably saying, hey, why didn't we run the ball? Well, their run hasn't been working real well either.
Yeah.
So. Big play here for Massillon. Might bring up a 4th and long. If they can
Plenty
get a
of
stop.
time to throw.
Had him wide open that time. He's headed for the end zone. Tackled just before he got there.
All day to throw. The protection was unbelievable. quarterback stood in the pocket, and he threw a dart.
He sure did to a moving receiver.
Great catch. This little guy can run. I thought he had a chance to get in. Whole clothesline there. They had to watch out too.
Yeah, there's a player down. I thought it was the receiver at first, but it was the guy that was blocking for the receiver. Yeah, number 1.
Number 1, that's her playmaker.
Yeah.
Fitzgerald.
That's right. He was blocking and doing a great job of blocking for his fellow receiver, and it didn't look bad when he went down, but he is down and they're looking at a leg. There he goes. He pops up. Good for him.
Yeah, he was dinged a little earlier too, remember?
Yep.
He had the hamstring, we thought, or something with that leg.
Something a little gimpy. So he will be up, but not in on this play. And Fitch has been here before. They've been goal to go for a touchdown. And now they're on the 1-yard line with 4 opportunities to get it.
I like 15 here, roll him out.
That worked
Run
for him
all the
last
way.
time. Yeah.
Get him on the edge.
That's what they're going to try to do, trying to trace him down from the backside. He reverses his field.
Great run just to get it back to them. Probably lost a couple, but
he prevented a big loss.
Yes.
He was being pursued from the backside, but when he reversed his field, he was able to get around. See the guy coming off the back corner?
Right there.
But when he reversed his field, he was able to get around him. Yeah, you're right. That is great effort to get the ball back inside the 5. Right. They spotted it at the 3. So they lost 2 yards. It's 2nd and goal. Boy, you called it. That was the play they were going to run.
I'd like to see a little misdirection here. They're over pursuing that now.
Massillon very aggressive down there, as Rick just mentioned. Hand it off up the inside. Big guys pushing each other. Did they let him fall across the end zone? Nope.
Forward progress.
Did not cross the goal line. They marked him dead. It's going to be 3rd down and about as short as you can get.
Yeah.
He jammed it up in there, and that's the running back that they ran a couple of times early in the game with good success, Rodell Bebbs. But he got up in there hard, and then the big guy started pushing him. Yeah, buddy. So here it is. That ball is sitting with its nose just off that goal line. If they gain anything at all, it will break the plane. And they're going to take a timeout and talk about it. Well, this is a very important play, so I can see why they're
that's a good timeout.
Yeah, that's a good timeout.
Very good.
With 6:01 in the 3rd quarter. Austintown Fitch trying to make this a 1-score game. They get it in here and hit the PAT. They're only down by 7. We want to remind you, at the end of the game, we'll name a player of the game, the Altman Health Foundation player of the game. And there are so many athletes on this field, and some of them have had great games. And who knows, somebody might play a great 4th quarter that means the difference in this game, and he'll be the player of the game. But we will do that along with final stats and a lot of other good stuff. So stick around with us, even when you think the game is over. Local news, issues, community happenings, along with national interviews and your calls on all kinds of topics. It's the Gary Rivers Show from 10 a.m. to noon, weekdays on WHBC. Go to WHBC.com for all of Gary's interviews and blogs. All right, well, they've tried to run the quarterback around the corner. That didn't work. They tried to get a guy up inside, and that did work.
They did,
for a couple of yards. They don't need much. Maybe a sneak here, huh? They got him up under center, and a big guy behind him, maybe to push him across the goal line.
Timeout.
Timeout Massillon. This is almost like the last play of the game.
Yeah.
Remember, Bob, we did a game, who was that? Perry and Central, and they kept calling timeouts right at the end because they were cat and mousing each other. Keith Wakefield burned 3 timeouts in a row without a play being run.
Wow.
Because each time they'd come out in a different formation, he would take a timeout. This is a lot earlier in the game than that, but it is important, no doubt about it.
Yeah, I think they sneak it here. Go for it on 4th down, of course, but
yeah, they got a couple of downs to get it in.
Yeah.
You know, Fitch this year 4-1, and right now pretty high in the playoff rankings. Last year they finished 6-4, and the year before that 5-5. So a couple of average years for them. But prior to that, the playoffs 3 years in a row. In 15 they were 7-4, in 14 they were 8-3, and in 13 12-1. That means 12-0 before they lost that year. So they're trying to get back to that playoff mode. Here we go. It is the sneak, and they did push him from behind.
Got him in.
I would think they had to get him in.
Well, if he went forward at all.
Yeah. Touchdown.
I was going to say if there was any forward momentum at all.
Well, it did look like he went forward and then got pushed forward, which is legal now. It used to be aiding and abetting the runner. That was a penalty. Now it's legal to help him get across there as long as you don't pull him. Right there you see the goal line, and there's 15 right there. He's the one with the ball, and 32 just pushed him over the goal line. So that's a great camera view. Thanks, guys and gals. So the PAT attempt to make it a 7-point game, and who would have thought it? The way Massillon was throwing the ball all over the place for easy touchdowns in the first half.
Boy, those kicks aren't any sure thing there, so they got to be careful. They don't.
But it did go through.
It did.
And so we have a 21-14 game, and Massillon will receive a kickoff. And now the importance of an offensive drive is magnified. They do not want to give it back to an Austintown team that has some confidence offensively that they can take it down and score. And the Austintown band is blaring out that fight song. There is renewed excitement on the Austintown side of the field.
This is a good game for the Tigers. They've got some adversity. They've been blowing everybody out all year. You know, you're going to have to win ugly. If you're going to go deep, you got to win ugly, and let's see if they can respond and deal with this adversity.
That's a good point. What about that drive, Rick?
Well, Fitch scored with 5 minutes and 48 seconds left in the third quarter. 6 plays, time of possession, 1:15. 39 total yards, a 1-yard touchdown run by Montebello. Extra point was good. Massillon 21, Fitch 14.
All right, Rick.
Here we go.
Fasten on the seatbelt. It's going to get interesting here. It's already interesting.
Yes,
They're kicking it short, but nice job by lateraling back to the normal returner. He had a gap, but it closed quickly. Good return.
Is that our man Broyles there? Yeah, number 8.
How about the unselfish play? Was that number 34, the up back Seth Jefferson, I think, that caught the kickoff, lateraled it back to the return guy. Let's catch him on this. Number 26. That is Marcellus Blake. He tossed it back to the returner and then went and got a block. Great team play by Marcellus Blake, one of the Tigers down on the field. They will attend to him before they get this drive started.
Marcellus must have been reading the same stat I did, that Broyles is averaging 50 yards a kickoff return. So,
and I'll tell you what, a split second sooner he'd have been through that coverage line, and he may have ended up in the end zone. But that's how kick coverage is. It closes quickly.
Hopefully he gets up here and maybe just cramps. Or.
Well, respect for the Austintown team. They are obviously very physical because several of the Tigers have been down on the field with some kind of, at least hopefully, temporary ailment.
They play tough football over there. Boardman and Fitch and Ursuline, Cardinal Mooney. I mean, it's a tough group over there.
They've had great history down through the years of turning out great players and having teams playing for state championships. Did you know that Alexa loves football?
I did
High
not
school
know that.
football? I didn't either. She does, so if you have an Alexa device, you can listen to 1480 WHBC with her. Simply say, Alexa, enable 1480 WHBC. It's a whole new way to listen to News Talk 1480 WHBC. Go ahead, try it now. More details on our website at WHBC.com. And there you see a very important player to this Massillon team, Tyree Broyles, holding on to his hamstring as he walked off the field, but he did walk off the field.
He did. It's good to see.
Yeah. Longwell going to throw it, got hit as he threw it, but wow, did he put it on the money.
Nice pass.
What a throw, and a penalty flag in late. And Morgan is down, but now he gets up. Take a look at this, Rick.
Boy, Longwell really hung in there to the last minute, showed his toughness, knew he was going to get hit, throws a dart. Great catch. That's impressive.
I think they got a face mask as there's a penalty flag way back by the line of scrimmage too.
Oh boy.
You could see right at the end of that play, the defender tackled Morgan with the helmet opening. But this would appear to be a hold. Boy, Longwell took a hit right when he let go of it.
And he hung in there.
Yeah. On an eligible downfield, not a hold. That means one of the offensive linemen, those interior 5 that are not allowed to go out for a pass, wandered 3 yards past the line of scrimmage before the ball was released. Offset, we're going to do it again. So just act like that beautiful throw and beautiful catch never happened. Isn't that a shame?
Sloppy football right now.
So Massillon appears to have made a great play to really jumpstart their offense and get into Fitch territory, and all for naught. We're going to line up 1st and 10 and start it all over again. Well, Fitch has found a way to get to Longwell, whether it's the blitz or with their front 4 twisting. So they're going to run Thomas up inside, and he'll get 4 yards.
There we go again.
There's another penalty downfield as a Massillon player and a Fitch player got locked up, and a flag came out after the play.
You know, Mark, this is bordering from the undisciplined to losing your composure. I mean, we're getting in that. I mean, it's just, you can't continue to hurt yourself like this and expect to win.
Well, I agree with you. And we saw the last drive that Massillon had. They went backwards and ended up inside their own 5 and had to punt it. And now they're headed in the same direction.
And on plays that are inconsequential, a block on a run play that's 20 yards downfield, and you just don't need to do it.
So we'll see if Massillon can tighten the ship and get things going, get a little momentum here. They've got the playmakers to do it. They just got to perform it. The penalties have gotten the crowd back into it, though. I mean, in a negative way, they're booing, but they do know that there's a game out here again now.
Yes.
So maybe that'll spur their players on to better things. It's 2nd and 8.
I'll roll out here.
A rollout pass is complete. It'll be close, but not quite a 1st down. So Longwell showing you there, not only can he throw from the pocket, he can throw on the move.
Kind of naked here, rolls out.
He just
squares
has
his
a
shoulders
nice arm
up.
motion.
He does.
We were
Comes
talking
out of
at
his hand.
halftime.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
We were talking at halftime what a great baseball player he is. Pretty easy to see right there.
Yeah.
He's got that wrist, and man, he snaps it.
So he's been well trained too. His fundamentals are good. Squares his shoulders up.
So that brings up 3rd and 2, very makeable. And Bob, I'm a little confused. They threw that penalty flag, but gave Thomas the 3-yard gain. So did they decline it? I'm thinking maybe Fitch declined the penalty. I don't know why they decline a personal foul, though.
That's a good point.
They never, it was a dead ball foul. They never marked it off. They never, in any case, another timeout. You know, I do basketball in the winter, or have for years.
Yeah.
And I've always thought that one of the great coups in high school basketball coaching lore is when they said, hey, we'll give you 160 for 2 30s. and they thought, oh, or 2 20s, we'll save time.
Yeah.
Oh, no. Those 20s turn into 60s, and now you've basically given them another timeout.
Right.
You get a coach that saves their timeouts, and the last 2 minutes of a basketball game can take half an hour.
Yeah, no question.
And
you're right.
Tonight I feel like we have too many timeouts because they're using them all early in the half. But there's been a lot of pivotal moments, and the coaches deem it necessary. And I am in no way going to criticize a coach for doing what he thinks is best for his team. So now it's 3rd and a couple, and this becomes a really important conversion opportunity for the Tigers. They need a first down, a new set of downs, and a little momentum here. If they don't make it and have to give it right back to Fitch, that's not good for the Tigers. It's Thomas, and that's a I don't see a
fumble.
Penalty. I was going to say. The referee closest to that did not throw the penalty flag.
This guy from clear over here threw it.
The guy from way over here saw it. They almost ripped his helmet off again, and when they did, they spun him around and he dropped the ball. He was headed well past that first down marker. So, and Coach Nate Moore standing on the sideline just pointing first down, so he knows what the outcome's going to be. And this should be a penalty that the Tiger fans like.
Personal foul on the defense.
We're going to get another look at it here.
You see the guys on the Fitch sidelines. I mean, you had an official right there. He didn't call it. And the Fitch coaching staff was going berserk. The right call was made.
Yeah.
But the Fitch guys are all upset because the guy right in front of them didn't see it.
Well, that's why there's more than one referee out there.
The right call was made.
That's right. It's all about angles and what vision you have, and the right call was made. That's the goal of every officiating crew. And now Massillon at their 42-yard line of Fitch. They have just not had consistent success running up inside. That Fitch defensive front is very stout.
They've had him bottled up most of the night, particularly up the middle.
.341 left in the 3rd quarter.
Second, about 9.
The pass game has been very effective for Massillon, although they've missed a few connections there tonight as well. Longwell to pass. Looking down the left sideline. And the free safety read it, got over, intercepted it, and stepped out of bounds, or caught it before he stepped out of bounds. And that'll be our first turnover of the game. That was a great read by the center fielder.